Hello, my name is Selena Wolcott, and for my group's micro-level discussion, we chose to talk about Central Washington University's student life. For my first question, what do members of society assume about the nature of people? Are people good, bad, or a mixture? I personally have been on Central's campus since 2018. When COVID hit, I did go home and I am now remote, but thinking back on my experience being a student on campus, I had a really good time. I think the CWU student life has one common goal, and that is to pursue our education. And so I think because we all are going after one thing, we all really want to help each other and lift each other up. So I would say we do see the good in people. Um, it's hard because there's always a mix of the negative and the bad within the good. But just like I said, we are all there for one thing, and student life is really important to lift each other up and have fairs and events just to help each other. And same with our professors; they're there to help us and teach us. And it makes me think about your first 2 years, how you take your general ed classes, and you learn a lot in anthropology and psychology about the nature of people. So I would say, on my outlook of Central students, we do see the good in people. We are college students, and there's the stigma of college students, how we are just kind of lazy and rude, and we don't really care about anything. But I never really got that from Central. So like I said, I would say Central students, we do see the good in the good nature of people. For my second question, what do members of a society assume about the relationship between a person and nature? Should humans live in harmony with nature or subjugate it? This makes me think on Central's campus, the Japanese garden, which then also makes me think about the excerpt you had us read about the Japanese garden, which makes me now, looking back on it, think about it a little bit differently. But my freshman year, I spent some time there. It was really nice in midst of finals or just stressful weeks to go and have a place to relax and unwind. And every time I went there, there was always somebody there or multiple people there. That I never went there and there wasn't anybody there. So I think a lot of Central students benefited from that kind of sanctuary place, just to relax and take a deep breath and a step back from the intense college life. But then I also kind of take a look at the other side of nature in Ellensburg, and I think about our weather. It is more on the extreme side. In summer, it's pretty warm, and then if you're in a dorm or the older dorms, there was no AC. So in the warmer weathers, it was pretty hard. And then I think about in winter when it snows, which there were some years where there was pretty intense snow, and the students living on campus would have to walk to class and walk further in the ice and the snow. And then the students living off campus, they're having to, in a way, take the risk and drive to class and drive home from class. So I think about that and the harmony within that. The wind, it was super windy there, so that was difficult at times. But I think all in all, there is a good harmony within nature of CW students. And there's also a water tower that a lot of students go up to watch the sunset. So I think with living in kind of the middle of nowhere in Ellensburg, it does give you more of an opportunity to connect with nature. So I think most of our Central students do have harmony with nature. Thank you.
Everyone. For my section, there are 2 points that I want to discuss. For the first point that I want to discuss is the group of people among the CWU students. As a student at Central University of Washington, I believe there are two groups of people. One of the group will try their best to consider about others and act in the favor of the groups. This group is known as collectivism. On the other hand, there's another group that will try to act as an individual. Their actions the action that they take will revolve around themselves and for their interest, but in a good way. These groups known as individualism. Each group have their own strong points and downsides. As a collectivism, they most likely to have lots and lots of great ideas to discuss due to everyone engagement to come up with ideas. When working as a group, they usually have fewer weak points in the team due to each member covering for one another. However, when it comes to decision making, it becomes a little bit problematic task because it's hard to have everyone to agree on just one thing sometimes. In addition, when working in a group, there's chances that conflicts might occur. For individualism, they tends to be a quick-thinking individual. They can work in a group just fine, but they feel more comfortable and more in control when they work alone. They usually get work done faster than collectivism because they only work with their own ideas and they can become flexible when needed. Some of the downside of individualism are that they sometimes struggle to come up with ideas. In addition, their ideas usually explore only on the surface level due to the lack of constructive conflicts that a team could have. The second point that I want to talk about is the primary mode of activities. Students at Central University of Washington always work on a specific and strict schedule to complete their task. Usually, they work for as a weekly basis. There will be step by step of activity that they take to complete their task. Every student will get a strict schedule from their instructor and they will work on their specific schedule to achieve those goals. While working on these strict rules, everyone usually enjoy the current situations and going with the flow while maintaining one ultimate goals. That is it for me. Thank you.
All right. So I will be answering questions 5 and 6, and we did ours on the CWU culture. So starting off with question 5, what is the conception of space in a given society? Is it considered private and that meetings are held in private? People do not get to get too close to one another physically and so on? Or is it deemed public such that everyone participates in meetings and decisions makings? Emotions may be expressed publicly and people stand near one another. So as a full-time online student, I don't live on campus. I don't live near Ellensburg. So I don't have as much knowledge as a on-campus student would. But I did ask a few friends who are on campus what they think and how their perspective is as an on-campus student. But I do think that this gives me a different perspective as a online student, which is very beneficial for others. All right, so the CWU culture in general is a public society. You are able to have conversations with other people and learn more about them. They're personal, they are deep, they have deep conversations, whereas in online student, I don't have those deep conversations. I don't have those personal conversations with people and or even just with professors. But as a on-campus student, you get to have those conversations with people. You get to interact with other people's decision making and figure out kind of how they came to that conclusion of their decision. If I want to contact someone, I will just email or text them, which it's still public, but it's not face to face, and they don't really get to understand how I came to the conclusion of my decision. You mainly have to make your decision on your own, and it's definitely something that people have to take into consideration if they depend on others when they are making those decisions. And yeah, so question 6. What is the society's dominant temporal orientation? Past, present, or future? So society's dominant temporal orientation is the past, focusing attention on prior life experiences. It can be associated with something that happened in the past, such as trauma that they have not gotten over, and it can take a long time to become okay with what happened in the past, and it definitely can become controlling over reputation, or sorry, not reputation, but reputation. And people will definitely see how you have surpassed that trauma over a long period of time, but there's still always going to be something that haunts you kind of as you grow. So yeah, thank you.